Maybe he was grooming her. I hope to God he doesn't kill her, and I hope to God he doesn't rape her. Okay, and when did you meet him today?
Her daughter is gone. No last words, no last I love yous, or whatever. She's just gone.
I can't go to prison. I can't go to prison. I can't go to prison. Keep away my charges.
In today's episode, we will discuss the tragic case of Cherish Perrywinkle, an 8-year-old girl living in Jacksonville, Florida, with her mother and 2 younger siblings. Born to Rayne Perrywinkle and Billy Jarreau, an unwed couple, Cherish Lily Perrywinkle was described as a fun-loving little girl full of energy and excitement. If she wasn't outside riding around on her bicycle, you could find her playing with her 2 younger sisters all day and night. She was what most would describe as a typical 8-year-old little girl, an innocent child with a smile that could light up any room and a heart of gold. And although her mother and father were engaged in several custody battles over the years, it never seemed to negatively impact her. Instead, she was this happy-go-lucky girl, what most would refer to as a ray of sunshine. Now, on June 21st, 2013, Cherish's mother, Rayne, decided to take Cherish and the girls to the local Dollar General to grab a few items. This wasn't out of the ordinary for her. As a single mother, Rayne had no choice but to tell the girls no when they asked for specific items at the store simply because she didn't have the money to cover the cost of those items. She had a budget to stick to and could only get a few items. It was there at the Dollar General that Rayne would encounter an older man named Donald Smith while shopping. She noticed the older man looking at her but didn't think too much of it. A few moments later, Donald walked up to Rayne and introduced himself before making an offer to Rayne that almost seemed too good to be true. Donald told Rayne that she looked like she had her hands full. Appearing empathetic over her situation, he mentioned that he had a $150 Walmart gift card at home and that he'd love for her to use it on her children to buy them some much-needed clothes. He mentioned that his wife could bring the gift card to Walmart. Although initially hesitant about the ordeal, Rayne decided that this elderly man likely had good intentions, especially since he offered to drive everyone over to Walmart to shop together. Upon entering the vehicle, Rayne felt slightly sketched out. The middle seat of the van was missing, and there were blinds hanging up on the vehicle's windows, which was quite odd to her. The passenger's seat was also pulled down. However, the ride to Walmart didn't take too long, with Rayne feeling a sense of relief when they finally arrived at the store and could begin their shopping. Once they were in the Walmart, Rayne felt much more comfortable. After all, there were all kinds of people shopping in the store, and things no longer felt out of the ordinary for her at the moment. She felt so comfortable in the Walmart that she and the children would spend the next 2 hours shopping for clothes throughout the children's section. After 2 hours of shopping, at around 10:30 p.m. to be exact, Donald Smith mentioned something about grabbing food from the McDonald's located inside the Walmart. He told Rayne that he would like to buy everyone some cheeseburgers because he felt the kids were likely hungry after several hours of shopping. Cherish decided to follow Donald to the McDonald's, and everything seemed normal to Rayne, who remained in the children's clothing section with Cherish's younger sisters. Despite claiming that he was planning to grab a few burgers from the McDonald's inside the store, Donald Smith continued walking past it with Cherish, ultimately leaving the store with her following right behind him. Surveillance footage shows him walking slightly ahead, with Cherish standing behind him and excitedly skipping, which makes everything seem normal. If you were a random passerby, you'd likely assume that this is a grandpa with his granddaughter, not knowing the tragedy that would soon unfold between the two. After roughly 30 minutes have passed, Rayne starts to wonder what's taking so long. Where are Donald and Cherish? So she makes her way over to the McDonald's area, only to realize that it's already closed because of the time. Rather than leaving Walmart and looking in the parking lot for Donald or Cherish, Rayne automatically calls the police to report Cherish as possibly being abducted. It would take roughly 6 hours before an Amber Alert would be sent out. Some believe the reason it took so long for the Amber Alert to get sent out is because local law enforcement didn't initially believe Rayne's story about the abduction.
Jacksonville 911, Robinson.
Hi, I'm at Walmart. I'm interested in taken.
What do you mean?
Taken by a stranger. I can't find her because the store is closed right now.
Okay, is he a white man or a black man?
A white man. He's got white short hair and he's got dark eyebrows.
You said dark short hair?
No, he's got white hair and dark eyebrows. I had a strange feeling about him when I first met him. He took her to the dressing room twice, and I was hoping that she would be okay. And I was looking at the shoes, and I didn't want him to think that I was overly protective, freaking out. But now they're not here, and I find it very odd because he knew that.
Oh, okay, ma'am. What color vehicle does he drive?
It's a white van.
Do you remember any stickers or anything on the side of the van? Anything that you can remember at all? Did it have tinted windows or anything?
I know he's got carpet in the van. I didn't take a good look. Sorry.
And he said what?
I didn't take a good look at the van.
Okay, do you remember did you see any tag on it or anything? Was it a Florida tag?
No, I didn't look at that. I feel like a fool.
Okay, can you remember what he had on?
No, I don't remember anything because I'm panicking right now.
Okay, ma'am, what's your name?
My name's... He said his name is Dawn. He said he was supposed to meet his wife here, and his wife never showed up, and I couldn't figure out why. His wife didn't even show up at Dollar General.
And he told you that y'all were going to meet his wife at the Walmart?
Yes. First she was supposed to show up at Dollar General, and then he was going to meet with her at Walmart. And we've been here probably 2 hours. And she didn't show up, and I have this cart full of clothes that he said he was going to pay for with a $100 gift card, and I had a bad feeling. I thought, well, I feel like pinching myself because this is too good to be true. So I got to the checkout. He's not here. He isn't here. Now, I'm hoping he's not raping her right now because I've had that done to me. And it's not fun. She's supposed to go to California in the morning through the plane, and he knows, as I told him this, he knew when the store was closing. I had a bad feeling about him.
Okay, how long have you been looking for you? When was the last time you saw him? How long ago?
About half an hour ago.
So you've been looking for her for a half an hour?
Yes. There's nobody in the store. And he knew the store was closing. He said he was going to McDonald. She went with him. I should have told her to stay with me.
He was going to the McDonald's inside the store?
Yes, there's a McDonald's inside the store. He wasn't here. Oh, somebody said they saw him, but he's not here. He should have had the nerve to stand here and wait. He must know that I'm panicking by now.
Okay, ma'am, you think she's been taken? You say you have other kids with you?
Yes, I do. He was giving too much attention. He wanted her to buy these really tall shoes that were women's shoes, and I told him no. I said they're too high for her. I wouldn't even wear shoes that high. Maybe he was grooming her. I hope to God he doesn't kill her, and I hope to God he doesn't rape her.
Okay, and when did you meet him today?
I met him at Dollar General in Edgewood. I was struggling with my money to buy the girl some clothes, and he saw that what I was doing, and he waited for us outside the store. And he said that he was waiting on his wife to show up. And so I waited around to meet her, and she didn't show up. And then he said he was going to give us a ride over here to Walmart. And then we waited in the parking lot for maybe 20 minutes for her to show up. She didn't show up. So we all went into the store. We've been here about 2 hours. And she didn't show up. And I don't understand why he would leave right now unless he's got to rape her and kill her. That's the only reason. And I'm wasting my time standing here.
You're not wasting your time, ma'am. We have officers on their way to you.
I can't remember what I'm wearing. I need to sit down and be calm and close my eyes and try to remember what I'm wearing.
Okay, ma'am, just stay in front of the store and yes, try to think about what she's wearing and what he's wearing. So when the officers get there, you can tell them, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, can you think of anything else about the van or anything?
It had a line around the van as if it were maybe a metal, not a sticker, but maybe, I don't know how to explain.
Like a pinstripe? You remember what color the line was?
I think it was dark, maybe like a silver. And it had a big space in the middle of the van where he had taken out a couple of seats, and he put my stroller in there, or I put the stroller in there.
And did he say he lived on that side of town or anything?
He said he didn't know this part of town. He wasn't sure about this part of town. Oh, gosh. He knows the store's closed. He knows McDonald's is closed. Why in the world would he take...
I don't see the van in the parking lot or anything where y'all left it?
Well...
Have you been outside to the parking lot?
I went outside the door, but I don't think I see the van. Let's see. Yeah, he took her. He took her away.
Okay, who are you speaking with, ma'am?
I'm speaking to a Walmart employee.
While looking into the situation further, a 911 call came in from a woman who claimed to have seen a white van parked in the bushes. The woman mentioned that she called in because she felt the vehicle being there was incredibly suspicious, especially since she'd received the Amber Alert earlier in the day and saw that a young girl had been abducted from the local Walmart. Before heading in that direction, investigators were able to find Donald Smith while driving his vehicle on the highway. They would then search the area from the 911 call, stumbling across something no one would ever want to see. Lying there in a creek behind the Highlands Baptist Church was Cherish's lifeless body. It's believed that Donald Smith had bound her in the back of his van, where he proceeded to repeatedly assault her in a sexual manner before strangling her and ultimately ending her life. Local law enforcement immediately arrested Donald Smith, charging him with first-degree murder, along with several other serious charges pertaining to the death of Cherish Perrywinkle. What investigators would quickly find out is that this wasn't something new for Donald Smith. Instead, he was a registered sex offender who'd committed some of the most horrific crimes against children on more than one occasion. He'd committed countless crimes over the span of several decades, spending quite a bit of time in and out of prison. Because of his lengthy rap sheet, most are left wondering why Donald Smith wasn't incarcerated in the first place. Perhaps, if he'd received harsher punishment for his wrongdoings, the tragic murder of Cherish Perrywinkle wouldn't have happened. You see, as investigators dug deeper, they came to realize that Donald lived a quite troubled life, engaging in voyeurism and public masturbation when he was only around 5 years old. When he was 9 years old, he sustained a traumatic brain injury and would eventually begin to exhibit major behavioral issues that only escalated into adulthood. 4 years after Cherish's death, Donald would finally have his day in court, with Rayne serving as the first witness in an attempt to ensure that this man would serve at least a life sentence for what he did to her daughter. When taking the stand, Rayne looked him straight in the eyes while providing her testimony. Many have judged Rayne, wondering why she would ever get into a van with a man she'd never met before. She has stated on many occasions that she felt foolish about the situation, but also thought she could trust Donald because he appeared to be a caring, elderly man who simply wanted to help a single mother provide for her children. The prosecution worked feverishly to seek justice for Cherish, despite the defense's best efforts to essentially blame Rayne for what their client did to her daughter. They proceeded to play a vulgar taped conversation between Donald Smith and another inmate, in which he says derogatory things about a 12-year-old girl. The purpose of playing these conversations was to prove that this wasn't a one-time thing. This was a man with a serious problem who felt comfortable enough to speak freely about his interest in young girls and crimes against children out in the open for everyone else to hear. It's almost as if he felt like there would be no consequence for his actions.
I'm sorry that you're having to go through this and not being able to network that with me and not being able to sit out on the back porch. This lady, Rayne, she doesn't have that opportunity. Her daughter is gone. Her daughter is gone. No last words, no last I love yous or whatever. She's just gone.
I can't go to prison. I can't go to prison. I can't go to prison. Away with my charges. Stab me to death. Beat me to death. Rape me. I went last. I'd be dead. So, it's either death row or the hospital. There is no prison. I don't want prison. I'd rather go to death row because I'm going to die anyway. Prison is going to kill me. And get wasted on death row. Just give me a shot. I'll just go to sleep. I'm happy and peaceful. Say I can make my amends. Tell you I love you. Go to sleep. And it be done.
The defense tried to use Donald's mental health issues and neurological problems to their advantage, claiming those issues were the root cause of his bad behavior. And despite truly having neurological damage and mental health problems from being abused himself as a child, it's no excuse for what he did to Cherish. The jurors weren't fooled by the defense, nor did they sympathize with Donald Smith, who took the life of a precious young girl who simply wanted a pretty dress and some McDonald's. In fact, many of the jurors were in tears after witnessing crime scene photos of the murder, while the defense tried to suppress the images. After only 15 minutes of deliberations, the jury would find Donald Smith guilty of all charges. He was found guilty of first-degree murder and sexual battery and would be sentenced to death in May of 2018. Julie Schlacks, the defense attorney, asked the jurors to focus more on the law instead of their raw emotions. In April 2021, Smith unsuccessfully attempted to appeal his sentence and will spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. So what are your thoughts on this unspeakable crime? How do you feel about Rayne Perrywinkle and her willingness to get into a vehicle with Cherish and her younger sisters? Many have pointed the finger at her over the years, but others have a soft spot for her, understanding the struggle of being a single mom and simply wanting to accept the help she thought she would receive. No matter what, one thing is for sure. Rayne has suffered tremendous heartbreak over the loss of her young daughter, who would be 18 years old today if not for Donald Smith cutting her life so short.